I should have known something was wrong when Sophia insisted on using the good china. That's what kills me now, how the signs were there, floating like dead leaves on still water, but I was too naive to see them. My name is Yesenia, and the Last Supper in my childhood home started like any other Thursday night dinner. Except it wasn't just another dinner. It was an execution, and I was the condemned. More wine, Tyler? Sophia's voice dripped honey as she topped off my father's glass. He nodded, already 3 glasses deep. That should have been my second warning sign. Dad usually stopped at 1. Yesenia, darling. Sophia set down the bottle, her red lacquered nails clicking against the crystal. How's that little marketing job of yours going? I stabbed at my salmon. It's going well. We just landed the Peterson account. Oh, that's sweet. She smiled, all teeth. Though I suppose at your age I was already running my own department. Dad cleared his throat but said nothing. The grandfather clock in the hallway, Mom's favorite piece, ticked away in judgment. Actually, I started, but Sophia cut me off with a wave of her hand. Speaking of progress, she chirped, Tyler and I have made a decision. She reached for my father's hand. He gave it to her like a man throwing a life preserver to his drowning wife, desperate to help, but afraid of being pulled under. We're selling the house. The salmon turned to ash in my mouth. What? It's time for a change, she continued, dabbing her lips with a napkin. This place is too big for just us, and Palm Springs is calling our names. We've already listed it. But this is my home, I said, my voice smaller than I wanted it to be. I grew up here. Mom, your mother has been gone for 5 years, Sophia snapped, mask slipping for just a moment before the society smile returned. And sweetheart, you're 26. Isn't it time you found your own place? I turned to my father, who suddenly found his wine glass fascinating. Dad? Sophia's right, honey, he mumbled. You should be independent by now. Independent? I laughed, but it came out wrong, like glass breaking. I pay rent here. I have since I started working. This was the arrangement we all agreed on. Oh, darling. Sophia's voice could have frozen hell. You're not a tenant. You're a guest who's overstayed her welcome. Dad? I tried again. The silence that followed hurt more than any words could have. We need you out by the end of the month, Sophia continued, serving dessert as if she hadn't just detonated my world. I'm sure you understand. After all, you're just a tenant in life until you make something of yourself. I stood up so fast my chair scraped against the hardwood floor. The same floor where Mum had taught me to dance for prom, where Dad and I used to play board games on Sunday afternoons before. Yesenia, Dad finally spoke, still not meeting my eyes. Don't make this difficult. Difficult? My voice cracked. Like watching you choose her over me for the past 5 years hasn't been difficult. Sophia sighed dramatically. Tyler, do you see what I mean about her attitude? This is exactly why we need a fresh start. I looked at the family photos on the wall, the ones Sophia hadn't managed to replace yet. Mum's smile beamed down at me, and suddenly I couldn't breathe. I'll be out by the end of the month, I said, surprising myself with how steady my voice was. But Dad, remember this moment. Remember you sat here and let her do this. I walked out of the dining room, Sophia's voice floating after me. Don't forget to wash your dishes, dear. Tenants should clean up after themselves. That night, I lay in my childhood bedroom, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars Mom and I had stuck on the ceiling when I was 12. They were fading now, just like every other trace of her in this house. But as I listened to Sophia's laughter floating up from downstairs, mixed with the clink of more wine being poured, I made myself a promise. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. The cardboard box in my hands felt heavier than it should have. Inside, wrapped in old newspaper, was Mom's ceramic butterfly collection. Delicate wings frozen mid-flight, just like my life right now. Need help with that? Aunt Marlene appeared in my doorway, her face tight with concern. She'd driven over the moment I called her about last night's dinner ambush. I've got it, I said, setting the box down beside a growing pile. Though I could use help figuring out where all this is going to go. About that. Marlene stepped into my room, closing the door behind her. There's something your mother wanted you to know, something I've been keeping until the right time. I stopped wrapping a butterfly mid-wing. What do you mean? She sat on my bed, patting the space beside her. Your mother, she knew Sophia's type, saw right through her from day one. Mom never said anything, because she was smart, strategic. Marlene pulled an envelope from her purse. She set up a trust fund for you before she died, one that neither your father nor Sophia knows about. My hands shook as I took the envelope. Inside were bank documents and a business card for someone named Vera Knight, attorney at law. But how? When? Your mother wasn't just sick those last few months, Marlene's voice cracked. She was planning, making sure you'd be okay if... She gestured around the room. If something like this happened. A knock at the door made us both jump. Yesenia? It was Dad. Sophia wants to know if you need boxes. We have some in the garage. I'm fine, I called back, my voice steady despite the trembling in my chest. Okay. Well, if you need anything... His footsteps faded away. Marlene's expression hardened. That man... I swear your mother would... How much? I interrupted, holding up the trust documents. How much did she leave? I don't know the exact amount now, but you need to visit Vera. She's been managing it all these years. 2 hours later, I was sitting in Vera Knight's downtown office, staring at numbers that couldn't be real. $912,000, Vera confirmed, adjusting her glasses. Your mother was very particular about the investments. She said, and I quote, "Make it grow like my daughter's strength will need to." I couldn't speak. That was house-buying money. That was... There's more, Vera continued, pulling out another file. She left a letter, said to give it to you when you came to claim the trust. The envelope felt warm in my hands, Mum's familiar handwriting swimming before my eyes. My dearest Yesenia, if you're reading this, it means my worst fears about Sophia have come true. I'm sorry I'm not there to protect you, but I made sure you'd have the means to protect yourself. Use this money wisely. Remember, the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with perfect timing. All my love, Mom. Back in my room that evening, I heard Sophia's heels clicking down the hallway, followed by her voice. Louis, darling. Yes, you can have Yesenia's room once she's gone. We'll paint over that awful ceiling. I looked up at my fading stars, then at Mum's letter, then at my phone where Vera's number was now saved. Perfect timing, I whispered, reaching for my phone. Hey, Aunt Marlene. Remember that real estate agent friend of yours, Renee? I need her number. Why? Marlene asked, though I could hear the smile in her voice. Because, I said, watching Sophia's shadow pass under my door, I think it's time I became more than just a tenant in life. That night, as I packed Mom's butterflies, each one felt lighter. Maybe because now they weren't just memories of what I was losing. They were reminders of what I was about to reclaim. I heard laughter from downstairs. Sophia entertaining some friends, probably bragging about Palm Springs. Let her laugh. Let her think she's won. Mom always said timing was everything. And mine? Mine was just getting started. Coastal Vista Properties LLC, Vera said, sliding the incorporation papers across her desk. Congratulations, you're now the owner of a legitimate shell company. I signed where she pointed, my hand steadier than my heart. And they can't trace this back to me? Not unless someone digs through 3 layers of corporate veils. Vera's smile was sharp. Your mother didn't hire me for my good looks. My phone buzzed, a text from Renee, the real estate agent. House just listed, 875K. Want me to schedule a viewing? It's happening. I showed Vera the message. Sophia actually listed it. Remember, Vera leaned forward. You can't go to the viewing yourself. Too risky. I know. I texted Renee back. Make an offer through Coastal Vista. Full asking price. Across town, in my temporary room at Aunt Marlene's, I scrolled through Sophia's Instagram. Her latest post made my blood boil. Saying goodbye to our beloved home, but Palm Springs awaits. New chapter, blessed life. The comments were full of her society friends' fake sympathy. We'll miss you. Palm Springs won't know what hit it. A notification popped up. A message from Dad. Hope you're settled in okay. Left some of your old photos in a box by the front door if you want them. I didn't reply. Instead, I called Renee. They counted, she said without preamble. Want 900K? Accept it. Just like that? Just like that. The next week passed in a blur of paperwork and wire transfers. I watched through Renee's updates as Sophia and Dad accepted the offer, signed the contracts, and began their own packing, all while having no idea who their buyer really was. Closing is set for next Friday, Renee informed me. They're asking for a 2-week move-out period after. No, I said firmly. Standard 7 days only, non-negotiable. That evening, another Instagram post from Sophia. Last sunset in our gorgeous living room. Don't worry, darlings. The Palm Springs views will be even better. Blessed Facius moving on. The photo showed her lounging on Mom's antique chaise lounge, the one she'd claimed was too outdated last year. My phone buzzed again. Louis, my stepbrother, of all people. Hey, where'd you end up moving? Mum's wondering if you left a forwarding address for mail. I typed back. Tell her not to worry about my mail. I'll be collecting it personally very soon. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. No response. The closing day arrived with little fanfare. Just signatures on documents, money changing accounts, and one final text from Renee. It's done. You own it. I sat in my car outside the house, my house now, watching Sophia direct movers through the front door. Dad was there too, looking lost as he carried boxes to their rental truck. My phone lit up with a call from Vera. Everything's filed, she said. The property deed is officially in Coastal Vista's name. Want to know the best part? What? Sophia's been calling other realtors, trying to find a place in Palm Springs. Apparently, she's having trouble getting approved for a mortgage. I watched as Sophia emerged onto the front porch, barking orders at the movers about her precious artwork. Really? Why's that? Seems her credit isn't what she claimed, and her assets... Vera chuckled. Let's just say Palm Springs might have to wait. That night, I drafted the eviction notice with Vera's help. 7 days to vacate, as per the contract. No extensions, no negotiations. When will you serve it? Vera asked. I thought about Sophia's upcoming farewell party, the one she'd been bragging about on social media. 50 of her closest friends, champagne, and catered hors d'oeuvres, all to show off one last time in a house that was no longer hers. This Saturday, I said, during her party. That's cold, Vera observed. I thought about Mum's letter, about perfect timing, about being called a tenant in my own home. No, I replied, watching the lights go on in my house, as evening fell. It's exactly the temperature it needs to be. The key slid into the lock like a whisper. 3 a.m., and my childhood home felt both familiar and foreign as I stepped inside. The security code, still Mum's birthday thankfully, beeped softly as I disabled it. Legally, I had every right to be here. The deed said so. But my heart still pounded as I moved through the darkened rooms, my phone's flashlight casting strange shadows. What are you doing here? I spun around, light catching empty air. For a moment, I could have sworn I heard Mum's voice, but it was just the house settling, playing tricks with my mind. Sophia had already started redecorating. Mum's vintage mirror in the foyer, gone. Replaced by some modern monstrosity that looked like shattered glass. The walls, once warm yellow, were now stark white. In the living room, cardboard boxes lined the walls, labelled in Sophia's precise handwriting. Palm Springs, storage, donate. One box caught my eye. Margaret's things, basement. Margaret, my mother, reduced to a box in the basement. I opened it, hands trembling. Photo albums, her favourite scarf, the small jewellery box where she kept her mother's wedding ring, all tossed together like yard sale leftovers. My phone buzzed, a notification from Sophia's Instagram. Can't wait for tomorrow's farewell soiree, one last hurrah in this beautiful home before our exciting new chapter. Blessed life, Josh, moving on. The comments were already rolling in. You deserve this upgrade, Queen. Palm Springs won't be ready for your fabulousness. So sad to see you go, but so happy for your next adventure. I clicked on the photo she'd posted, a selfie in front of Mum's prized rose garden, which was now wilting from neglect. The caption read, "Getting this garden ready for one last party, though honestly, who needs roses when you'll have palm trees?" Another box caught my eye. Lewis's new room. Inside were paint swatches and magazine clippings of bedroom designs. They were planning to give him my room, my space. The ceiling stars Mum and I had put up together would be painted over with whatever trendy colour Sophia deemed appropriate. My phone buzzed again. Dad this time. Left some more of your things in the garage. Should pick them up before the party tomorrow. I didn't reply. Instead, I walked upstairs to my old room. Lewis had already started moving in some things, his gaming setup, posters, a new bedspread replacing mine. You shouldn't be here. This time I definitely heard Mum's voice, clear as day. I turned slowly, half expecting to see her ghost. Instead, I saw her reflection in my old mirror, the only thing Louis hadn't taken down yet. But it was just me, standing in shadows. Just me, looking more like her than ever. Said it right, I whispered, remembering her words from so many conversations. But don't lose yourself in the process. My phone lit up with a text from Vera. Everything ready for tomorrow? I typed back. Yes, eviction notice printed, just need to serve it. Remember, legally, you can't change the locks until they're out, but once they're gone. I looked around my old room one last time. Soon, it wouldn't be Lewis's new gaming paradise. It wouldn't be anything Sophia planned. Another Instagram notification. Last-minute party prep. Can't wait to toast with everyone tomorrow. Farewell party. New beginnings. I smiled in the darkness. Oh, there would be a toast all right, just not the kind Sophia was expecting. Walking back downstairs, I paused by Mum's box. Carefully, I took out her favourite scarf, soft silk with painted butterflies. Tomorrow, I'd wear it when I served the eviction notice. A small touch of poetry in what was about to unfold. As I locked up and slipped away into the night, my phone buzzed one final time. A message from Louis. Mum's going all out for this party. Says it's important to leave with style. I typed back, don't worry, tomorrow will definitely be stylish. Then I drove home to Aunt Marlene's, where my own carefully pressed outfit waited. A black blazer, crisp white shirt, Mum's scarf, and in my briefcase, an eviction notice that would turn Sophia's farewell party into something entirely different. After all, what's a party without a surprise guest? The party was in full swing when I walked through the front door. Sophia's voice carried over the crowd. And Palm Springs is just the fresh start we need. Sometimes you have to know when to move on to bigger things. I adjusted Mum's butterfly scarf and stepped into the living room. 40 pairs of eyes turned to stare. The champagne glass in Sophia's hand froze halfway to her lips. Yesenia? Dad stood up from his chair. What are you? Please, don't let me interrupt. I smiled, channeling Sophia's own brand of poisoned honey. I just came to deliver something important. Louis snorted from his corner. Mom, want me to call security? That won't be necessary, I said, pulling the envelope from my briefcase. I'm actually here on behalf of the new owner. The room went quiet. Even the soft jazz Sophia had playing seemed to hold its breath. The new owner? Sophia's laugh was sharp. Darling, we haven't even moved out yet, and I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate. Actually, I placed the envelope on the mahogany coffee table, Mum's coffee table. They would, since I'm here on their behalf. Dad stepped forward. What's going on? It's an eviction notice, I said clearly, making sure every champagne-holding guest could hear. You have 7 days to vacate the property, as per the original sales agreement. Sophia's face went from confused to furious in record time. This is ridiculous. We have an arrangement with Coastal Vista Properties for 2 weeks. Coastal Vista Properties, I interrupted, has decided to stick to the original 7-day period. No extensions. You can't. Sophia started, but then stopped. Her eyes narrowed. How do you know about Coastal Vista? I pulled another document from my briefcase. Because, Sophia, I am Coastal Vista Properties. Well, technically, I'm the owner of the LLC that owns it, which makes me, I gestured around the room, the owner of this house. The champagne glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the hardwood floor. Louis cursed. Dad sat down hard in his chair. That's not possible, Sophia whispered. Oh, but it is. I handed her the property deed. Check for yourself. Everything's legal, everything's binding, and you have 7 days to get out of my house. Tyler, Sophia turned to my father. Do something. But Dad just stared at me, recognition dawning in his eyes. The trust fund, he said quietly. Margaret had a trust fund for her. Smart woman, my mother, I said. She knew exactly what kind of protection I might need one day. Sophia's friends were already gathering their coats, whispering amongst themselves. This wasn't the farewell party they'd expected, but it was certainly more entertaining. You can't do this, Louis stepped forward, trying to intimidate me with his height. We'll fight it. With what money? I asked sweetly. The Palm Springs Fund? Or maybe your mother's secret savings? Oh, wait. I turned to Sophia, whose face had gone pale. Those don't exist, do they? Get out, Sophia hissed. No, I said firmly. You get out. 7 days, Sophia. And don't worry about the roses in the garden. I'll make sure they get better care than you gave them. I turned to leave, then stopped. Oh, and Louis? I want my ceiling stars back. Don't paint over them. As I walked out, I heard the party dissolving into chaos behind me. Sophia's friends making hurried excuses, Louis cursing, and Dad calling my name. Yesenia, wait! I turned on the front porch. He stood there, looking older than I'd ever seen him. Did you know? He asked. When we had that dinner, did you know you'd do this? No, I said honestly. But Mom knew. She knew someday I'd need a way to fight back. She just didn't know it would be against her own husband. I never meant. 7 days, Dad. I cut him off. Get your things and go. You chose your side. Now live with it. I drove away as the party guests fled like rats from a sinking ship. My phone was already blowing up with texts from Sophia's friends, some condemning me, others secretly congratulating me. But the only message I cared about was from Aunt Marlene. Your mother would be so proud, not of the revenge, but of how you stood up for yourself. Come home. I've got wine and ice cream ready. Home. For the first time in years, I knew exactly where that was. The social media storm hit before midnight. Sophia's perfectly curated Instagram feed transformed into a battleground of thinly veiled accusations and desperate damage control. Sometimes those closest to you reveal their true colors. Betrayed, staying strong, her latest post read. The comments section was a war zone of competing narratives. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. Hello? Is this Yesenia? A male voice, unfamiliar. This is Ken, Sophia's ex-husband. I sat up straighter in Aunt Marlene's kitchen. How did you get my number? Sophia called me, ranting about lawsuits and demanding help. Thought you should know. She's trying to dig up dirt on you. Why are you telling me this? He laughed bitterly. Because I watched her do the same thing to me when my business failed. One day I was her beloved husband. The next I was unstable and dangerous. She took everything in the divorce. Including Louis, especially Louis, turned him against me completely. He paused. Just watch your back. She fights dirty. As if on cue, my phone pinged with notifications. Anonymous accounts were flooding my work social media with accusations. She stole her family's house. Gold digger? Ungrateful daughter. Already started, I muttered. Classic Sophia, Ken said. Listen, if you need a character witness, a knock at the door interrupted us. Through the window, I saw Dad standing on the porch, shoulders slumped. I have to go, I told Ken. But thanks for the warning. Dad looked smaller somehow, standing in Aunt Marlene's living room. His hands wouldn't stop fidgeting with his car keys. Can we talk? He asked. Now you want to talk? Marlene appeared from the kitchen, arms crossed. 5 years too late, Tyler. Marlene, please, he said. I need to tell her something. About Sophia. About what really happened. I nodded at Marlene, who retreated to the kitchen, but not before shooting Dad a warning look. Make it quick, I said. Sophia, he started, then stopped. Tried again. When your mother got sick, I was lost. Sophia was the hospital administrator. She was kind, understanding. She was manipulating you, yes. He sank into a chair, but I didn't see it then. She helped me with medical paperwork, insurance forms, started handling our finances when your mother was too sick to manage them. My stomach turned. What did you do? I signed papers. Lots of papers. Some... He swallowed hard. Some gave her joint ownership of the house. I didn't tell your mother. Sophia said it would only worry her. You gave her our house? While Mom was dying? I thought... His voice cracked. I thought I was protecting us, making sure everything was taken care of. But after your mother passed, Sophia changed. Or maybe she just stopped pretending. My phone buzzed again, more hate comments appearing on my social media. Dad noticed. She's trying to destroy your reputation, he said. Like she did to Ken. You know about Ken? I found out recently how she ruined him. How she... He pulled out his phone, showed me a series of emails. She tried to have your mother declared incompetent, wanted control of everything before she... He couldn't finish the sentence. Didn't need to. Why are you telling me this now? Because I found these in her desk last night while packing. He handed me a folder. Forged documents, power of attorney drafts, things she wanted me to sign but never got the chance to. I flipped through the papers, my hand shaking. This is evidence of fraud. Yes. He stood up. Use it if you need to. I'll testify. Why now, Dad? Why help me after choosing her side for so long? He walked to the door, stopped with his hand on the knob. Because, at that dinner, when she called you a tenant in life, I saw your mother's face in yours, and I remembered who I used to be before I became Sophia's puppet. After he left, Marlene brought me tea. My phone kept buzzing with notifications, but I ignored them. "What will you do with those documents?" she asked. I looked at the folder, thought about Ken's warning, about Dad's confession, about Mum's trust fund waiting all these years. "I'm going to make sure Sophia understands," I said, "that karma isn't just a hashtag she can use on Instagram." The moving truck pulled away, leaving Sophia's precious designer furniture in my driveway. The estate sale company had offered cash on the spot. Apparently, there's a huge market for barely used luxury items. "You can't sell my things!" Sophia's voice crackled through my phone. "That furniture cost thousands." "Check the sales contract," I replied calmly. "Any items left after the 7-day period become property of the house owner. It's been 8 days, Sophia." She hung up. I turned to find Louis standing at the front door, looking lost. "Mom's losing it," he said, not meeting my eyes. "She's at some motel off the highway. Dad's... well, he's gone." "Why are you here?" He pulled out his phone, showed me a banking app. "She emptied our joint account, said she needed it for lawyers." He laughed hollowly. "Guess I'm not getting that Palm Springs room after all." "Karma's funny that way?" "Yeah." He kicked at the ground. "Listen, I know I was a jerk, but could I maybe get my gaming set up? It's still in your room." I considered him for a moment. "Take it. But Louis, the next time someone offers you everything, ask yourself what it's costing someone else." Inside, I started clearing out Sophia's home office. The realtor had been right. She'd left in a hurry, taking only what fit in her Mercedes. In the bottom drawer, behind a false panel, I found a laptop. It took 3 password attempts before I got in. Sophia's birthday. Too obvious. Louis's birthday. Nope. My father's birthday. Bingo. The emails loaded like digital breadcrumbs of destruction. To her lawyer 5 years ago. "Margaret's condition is deteriorating. How soon can we file for competency evaluation?" To her banker. "Tyler signed the transfer. Margaret doesn't need to know. It would only upset her in her condition." To Ken's former business partners. "My husband is becoming erratic. I'd advise against any further investments." The most recent emails were desperate pleas to various Palm Springs realtors, all responding with variations of, "Unfortunately, given your current financial situation." My phone buzzed. A news alert. Local business journal. Prominent social figure files for bankruptcy following property dispute. Then came the text from Louis. "Mom's crying in her motel room. All her friends blocked her. Even her country club membership got cancelled." I didn't respond. Instead, I called Ken. "I found proof," I said, "of what she did to you. To my mother. To everyone." "Going to the police?" I looked at the emails again. No. Some things hurt more than jail time. I copied the relevant emails, attached them to a message, and sent them to everyone in Sophia's contact list. Subject line: "The truth about your friend." Then I sent copies to Dad with a simple note: "Learn who you chose. Live with it." The responses flooded in within hours. Oh my God, I had no idea. That poor woman, trying to declare her incompetent. I knew something was off about the Ken situation. Tyler needs to see this. Sophia's carefully curated social world imploded in real time. Her Instagram followers dropped by the hundreds. The charity board she chaired asked her to resign. Her social media went dark. Later that evening, Vera called. "Your father's lawyer reached out. He's not contesting anything. Says he'll sign whatever you need him to." "And Sophia?" "Filing for bankruptcy. Apparently, she's been living on credit and appearances for years. The house sale was supposed to save her." I walked through the empty house. My house, touching the walls that held so many memories. In the kitchen, I found one last thing. A fake bottom drawer containing a stack of letters. They were from my mother to my father, never delivered. Sophia had intercepted them during Mum's hospital stays. Love letters, worry letters, one final letter begging him to see through her act before it's too late. My phone buzzed one last time that day. Sophia calling. I let it go to voicemail. You think you've won? You think this makes you better than me? You're still just a tenant in life, Yesenia. Still just a... I deleted the message before she could finish. Outside, the moving truck returned for another load of furniture. Soon, there would be nothing left of Sophia in this house. Nothing except the lesson she never meant to teach me. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't taking everything from someone. It's letting them realize they did it to themselves. The roses were blooming again. Mom's garden had taken work. Months of clearing weeds, pruning dead branches, coaxing life back into neglected soil. But standing there in the morning light, watching butterflies dance between the petals, I knew it was worth it. They're beautiful, Aunt Marlene said, joining me with 2 cups of coffee. Just like she kept them. Inside, the house hummed with its old warmth. The walls were back to their original yellow, the antique mirror restored to its place in the foyer. Mum's butterfly collection graced the living room shelves, their delicate wings catching sunlight. My phone buzzed, a text from Louis. Got a job, real one, not Mum's country club connections. Thanks for the wake-up call. Speaking of wake-up calls, Marlene nodded toward the driveway, where Dad's car had just pulled up. He looked older, grayer, but somehow lighter as he walked up the path. The manila envelope in his hands trembled slightly. The divorce is final, he said without preamble. Sophia, she didn't contest it. Could she afford to? Marlene asked pointedly. No, he managed a weak smile. Last I heard, she's living with her sister in Nevada. No more Palm Springs dreams. I gestured to the porch swing, Mom's favorite spot. Want some coffee? He sat down carefully, like a man stepping onto thin ice. I've been going through old boxes. Found something you should have. The envelope contained photos. Mom and Dad young and laughing. Me as a baby. Family picnics and Christmas mornings. A life before Sophia poisoned it. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he said quietly. I don't deserve it, but I want you to know I'm seeing someone, a therapist, trying to understand how I let her control you? I finished. Erase Mom? Throw me away? Yes. His voice cracked. All of it. A butterfly landed on the porch railing, blue wings spread wide, fearless. Mom used to say butterflies were messages from loved ones. I'm not ready to forgive you, I said honestly, but I'm glad you're getting help. He nodded, standing to leave. Stopped. Your mother would be proud, not of the revenge, but of how you fought for your home, for her memory. After he left, Marlene helped me hang the photos. As we worked, something clattered behind a vent, an old tape recorder. That's Margaret's voice recorder, Marlene gasped. She used it for work notes. My hands shook as I pressed play. Static then. Yesenia, my darling girl. If you're hearing this, it means you found your way home. I knew you would. You're stronger than anyone knows, even yourself sometimes. Remember, home isn't just where you live. It's where you reclaim your worth. I love you, butterfly. I always will. Marlene wiped her eyes. She knew. Somehow she knew you'd need these words. She knew a lot of things, I said, looking around at the house, my house, restored to its true self. She knew Sophia would try to erase her, that Dad would falter, that I'd need a way back. And now? I walked to the front door, where a new welcome mat read Home Sweet Home in bright letters. Through the window, I could see Mom's roses blooming, butterflies dancing, life returning. Now, I'm not just a tenant in life anymore, I smiled. I'm home. My phone buzzed one last time, an email from Vera. Final paperwork filed. The house is officially, irrevocably yours. No one can ever take it from you again. I didn't need to reply. Instead, I walked out to the garden, to the rose bush Mom loved best. Its blooms were the deepest red, like hearts opening to the sun. I picked one perfect flower and placed it in the antique vase on the foyer table. Just like Mom used to do, a butterfly landed on the rose, wings catching light like stained glass. In that moment, I swear I heard Mom's laugh echo through the halls, felt her pride in every corner of this house that was finally, truly mine. Not because I'd taken it back, not because I'd won, but because I'd remembered who I was always meant to be, my mother's daughter, the keeper of her memory, and the rightful owner of this place called home.